Good afternoon, and we are now in our final section with Rachel Clark from the School of Media and Performance. How are you, Rachel?
I'm all right, thank you. Nice to see you, Holy. It's been quite a break since we last met.
Could you tell us about the variety of courses that you could study in this school?
Well, it's very creative, hence the name Media and Performance. So you can study my course. My dog has just entered, sorry, which is media performance for film, TV, and theatre. So we look at acting for the camera, we look at acting in the theatre, and a lot of production skills that go along with that. We have film production and film and TV. We have acting up at Bedford in the performing arts. We have film and television. There's lots of courses, lots to do.
So, with these courses, how does it help you get into the industry?
Okay, so most of the courses look at employability skills and networking. So you come to us and it's about formulating your own brand. And from that brand, we then help you connect with industry and see how you can meet people along the way that may offer you internships, work placements, or opportunities, or even just sound advice. So I run an event called Media Junction, which is a weekly event, and it's filmed in a TV studio where I interview media guests. They come from all sorts of areas, from Moulinaire, which is a big production company in London that does audio. We've had Clearhead Media, we've had the BBC, we've had Equity, we've had Spotlight, we've had numerous amounts of people come along, and they offer their tips, guidance into how to get into the industry, how to present yourself, what an employer is looking for, but also the advantages from having someone in like that is they can guide you into the not so visible routes. So by putting yourself out there, they can guide you into finding unusual ways into the industry by volunteering, for example.
Can you tell us about practical elements of the courses?
Well, they're all about making something. So it's about creating something that needs to have a story. So there needs to be an image, a story, and a variety of production skills to go along the way with that. Even if you look at my course, Media Performance, you still are looking at how you package up the final product to send out to an agency. So you are learning how to be digitally savvy. So you're learning how to use cameras, how to edit, how to create that story. But then also you're learning how to present that to a film festival. If you're doing film and TV, you might look at pitching. If you've got a game show idea, you might look at pitching that for television. As I've said about the performance side, it's about creating your online presence as well, and how to connect and find those routes into the industry.
And do you have any graduate success stories through this course?
Well, from my course, yes, I have. In fact, I have a little picture right here. See that? That's Ricky and Melvin O'Doon, who are Radio 1 presenters on the Live Lounge. They came to do media performance. They studied radio as their specialism. They were here at the start of Radio Lab, it was called. Back then it was Luton FM. So they were the pioneers of Radio Lab. I mean, Melvin had such character when he was at university, for example, and he wasn't sure where he wanted to go, but because he was a cheeky clown, a cheeky chappy, he sort of found his way into industry with his personality and persona. And I think that's really important to think about what it is about you, what you've got to offer to somebody out there in the industry. And I think what he's done is just made himself his own brand, as I said about branding yourself. So everywhere I've seen Melvin, and recently was on Channel 4 about saving your sperm, how to how to get your best production of sperm. But he's also doing Lego Wars. He's doing a shopping show with Keith Lemon at the minute, where they're driving tractors. Most bizarre. But behind all of that, it's still that Melvin I saw coming into university on his little scooter. He's still very suave, sophisticated, but he's not changed himself. He's branded himself, if that makes sense.
And can you tell us about some of the experience that your academic team have, but also how you guys, keep up with society, how you incorporate the changes of society into the course?
When you're doing a creative course, most of the content that you build is based on what's going on around you. So you would be looking at making some form of a statement or creating a story about something that's trending at the time. So if it's making a film, we've just had some students get selected into a film festival from their special project that they've made this year, which was a very subtle film approaching the LGBTQ groupings, but it was set in India, and it's a beautiful story, shot beautifully. And I can't remember what the question was. Sorry, what was the question?
I was just asking how you guys stay connected with the changes.
Making the point, that's it. Yeah, so they're making a statement through their work that they are going to use as a platform to try to connect out into the industry. So what we are studying is always current. We'll look at where we've come from with a variety of practitioners as to what's formulating the academic theory behind what we're doing, but then we'll integrate that with trends and popular culture that's happening within society. So, for example, everybody's TikToking, particularly Holy. Everyone's creating social media content now. So we would integrate that within some of the work that we might be doing. So students making films on iPhones, for example. It's about challenging what's happening around you, but also trying to take it that little bit further. I mean, we're trying to do voiceover within media performance for the gaming industry. You create an audio show reel so that you can tailor that to go out and do commercials, as I say, games, audio books. So it's about finding skills that will fit into whatever society is demanding, really. And if you keep up with what's happening and try to keep current, then you will have more success with employability.
So, what are the facilities like in your school?
Well, I spend a lot of my time in the dark, as in studios. So I spend a lot of time in our theatre, which is fully equipped with good lighting facilities. Students learn how to use the lighting and the sound. We have LEDs, which makes it quite creative for theatre and experimental theatre. In the TV studio, it's all HD and digital. And the BBC have used it before for some of their political shows, and they've wanted to do live broadcasts from our studio. I've interviewed in there numerous TV personnels over the last year and lots of alumni who are working within the industry. We actually had John Stevenson, who's a Hollywood director who directed Kung Fu Panda, if you know that movie, which all you kids out there hopefully do. So it replicates what you'd have as an expectation within the industry. We have a media stores that has camera equipment, and we have edit suites, we have green screens, we have a VR suite. So we have the means to create, but again, it's down to the ideas and the individual in creating it. So you can always challenge whatever you've got, and it's never enough, but you will find ways to overcome that and make it even better.
And do you have a word of advice for the students who are applying through Clearing?
Live your dreams. Think about what it is that you want to do. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? And what steps do you need to do to try to get there? If we take Holy as an example, he came into the university to take one direction, but he's developing his skills, learning new techniques, and he's actually changed his direction. So you don't have to know exactly what you want to do now. It's about having that leap of faith, thinking about what skills you can gain from any degree, And if I go back to mine, because obviously it's my subject area, media performance is all about communication. No matter how you package it up, it's about how you communicate to your audience. So that skill is transferable in life. You know, we present to the camera, we act to the camera, but it's how we are communicating to the person that's behind there. So whatever it is that you want to do or think you might want to do, have a little bit of an open heart that along the way you'll learn new skills and you might find something else that you really want to do. But remember, the more skills you have, the more employable you are. And if you took television, the structure of television, the routes and channels through television is not linear, and that you will find different ways that cross over. So you won't always have a very specific, bespoke way into the industry. It will be something that you think, oh, I didn't know that job existed. So, for example, I was watching Britain's Got Talent, as you do, and a credit came up, and it was a student of mine. She was a production secretary, and I contacted her on Facebook and said, I've never heard of that role before, production management, but not production secretary. So you start to talk to people and hear that there's actually more jobs than what you think there would be out there. And I think that's what's important, is that, you know, you've got all the slices of the cake to come. You know, you're on the little bits at the moment. The icing will come later, but at the minute we're putting all the ingredients together, and we're going to cook it for 3 years, and then we'll see how it rises.
So much, Rachel, and thank you to everyone for joining our Clearing live stream.